Hey everyone, I'm StarcraftDad, and today I'll be casting a 1 versus 1 between CuePhoenix playing Terran in the red and KoolGUY playing Zerg in the blue on the map Antiga Shipyard. So this is a new map in Season 3, and this is CuePhoenix's first game playing in Season 3. This is his Qualifier game, so we'll see how he does. His record versus Zerg from Season 2 was 8 wins and 1 loss, his loss being in the Qualifier. Let's see if he's going to repeat that today. Both players building workers, mining minerals. CuePhoenix going off to build his starting supply depot up in the front to make a wall. Typical starter versus Zerg in case they do some kind of early Zergling attack on the front door. KoolGUY slowly sending his overlord across the map. So Antiga Shipyard is a 4-player map. You can see the players' 2 spawning positions. KoolGUY down here in the lower right, and CuePhoenix here on the left. So each player has a starting base with a little bit of hiding smoke in the back that you gotta watch out for. Nice little ramp leading down to your first expansion here. This expansion's entryway is guarded by this big ramp over here, and a lot of open space in the back, so a lot of room for drop harass, banshee harass, etc. A lot of open space in this map. It's a macro map. CuePhoenix setting his SCV out, looking for trouble, looking to find KoolGUY's base. KoolGUY, of course, already knows about CuePhoenix's base. He's sending this. His scouting overlord finally made it over to this near position. You can see CuePhoenix is building his double barrack wall, so it's going to be a little bit harder to break in. But this supply depot is always the weak link in the Terran wall. KoolGUY going for a expand, which is pretty typical for non-newbie Zergs. So Zerg like to be a couple of bases up on their opponents, so this Zerg has 2 bases going, which is great for him. Notice he hasn't built a spawning pool yet. Oh, there comes a spawning pool. No, maybe not. Maybe he is. Okay, there he goes. KoolGUY building a spawning pool. Got overlords spread around the map, trying to get good vision of what's going on. For some reason, decided to leave his drone out here. Maybe some insurance, not sure. CuePhoenix going to send in his scouting SCV, and we'll get to see what he can see. He's just going to hang out here at the front door. Not sure if he realizes what's going on. I think CuePhoenix is focused on trying to chase this overlord out. CuePhoenix keeping up on spending his money down at 60. Upgrading to an orbital command, and this SCV just hanging out here, not sure CuePhoenix is really paying attention to him or sees what's going on. Spawning pool about to come up. This SCV is going to get some Zergling harass if he's not careful. Oh, there he goes, he's moving around. Let's see what he can see. So CuePhoenix looks like he sees the spawning pool, sees the hatchery, and is going down here to check out, see what's going on, make sure he's going to scout out the space. He was a little slow on that. You can see CuePhoenix behind in supply now, 18 to KoolGUY's 21. This SCV coming around, and looks like he's going to be able to see this second base and see that it has just a few workers. So CuePhoenix should have a good idea that his opponent has expanded in the typical Zerg fashion. So now we're looking at 2 base Zerg versus 1 base Terran. CuePhoenix falling way behind on his mineral spending, building a factory. And looks like he's building 2 Marines at a time out of these 2 barracks. We'll see how that does. KoolGUY building a bunch of drones, droning up, a couple of spine crawlers down here after he saw that scouting SCV, a couple of spine crawlers to try to prevent harass coming into the base. He's got a nice little kind of semi-wall here between his spine crawlers and this hatchery, so he should be able to fend off anything that CuePhoenix throws up. KoolGUY with a couple of Zerglings back here, and an overlord there. So as he's spreading out overlords, trying to make sure he's not going to be surprised by any kind of harass coming from CuePhoenix. Banshees, medevac drops, probably medevac drops at this point, but he doesn't realize, of course, that CuePhoenix is way behind, and he's just now building his starport. So CuePhoenix trying to get back into the macro game, building a barracks, building a starport, working on his factory. Looks like he may be doing some kind of siege tech, or maybe he'll be using this tech lab to attach to his starport to make banshees. But we'll just see how that goes on. 2 harvesters on this refinery and 2 on here, so CuePhoenix just doing a little bit of gas. He should probably ramp that up a little bit if he's going to go so tech heavy with this factory and this starport, but Yeah, he could be doing a lot more now. Okay, building a starport. He really needs to go ahead and start to expand. Otherwise he's going to fall pretty far behind. The Zerg left to themselves to macro away. You can see KoolGUY. Wow, he is up at over 1,000 minerals. At this point, he could build a ton of overlords, build a ton of Zerglings, and cause serious damage against CuePhoenix. He's only got this small squad of Marines up at the front. Looks like CuePhoenix is going for Banshees, setting down this starport on this tech lab, and it looks like he's apparently either building another tech lab for this starport or going for siege tanks as well. Got a bunch of SCVs just hanging out. His macro is not too sharp for this qualifier, and KoolGUY with a small squad of Zerglings hanging out here at the Zelnok Tower. Most of the action is going to be down here, down these alleyways through this natural with the gold rocks here. But this Overlord's got a good view of that, and he's got an Overlord down here to look for drops sneaking around the edge, and an Overlord down here. So KoolGUY has a pretty good set of map vision here. We can check his vision out. If you look down on the mini-map, he can see quite a bit of the map, so he's trying to defend himself, which is very good. He's got a ton of minerals. He could probably expand and continue to drone up. If we look here, he's building a double evolution chamber. This is a really good idea for Zerg. The Zerg strategy these days, the metagame, is to drone away, get a lot of money banked up, and then when the opponent attacks or when they start coming for you, you then build a ton of units that are an appropriate counter to what's being sent towards you. So it shouldn't be surprising that if we look at the army count, we can see that KoolGUY has a lot of worker supply. Actually, he's really ahead of CuePhoenix. This is going to be trouble for CuePhoenix. And army supply is he's lower, but that's fine. Because what should happen, or what he should be prepared for, is to swing that army supply way back once he gets an idea of what CuePhoenix is doing, or once he doesn't attack. So CuePhoenix looks like he's just got stuff sitting around up here. Looks like he's getting all ready to build some Banshees, but he's not doing anything with that. Plenty of supplies, not supply blocked, a couple of SCVs sitting around. It looks like he built a command center that's finished. Not much going around there either, so this is pretty curious. CuePhoenix just hanging out low on supply. KoolGUY, lots of money. He could probably build a bunch of Zerglings and just smash CuePhoenix right now. Not even using these evolution chambers to do upgrades. So KoolGUY kind of falling behind on his macro. If he would have kept up with that, he would be in excellent shape to take CuePhoenix out right now, right at this moment. Looking at the units tab, CuePhoenix only has 1 tank and 16 Marines, only 18 SCVs. Folks, this looks like a pretty one-sided game, just waiting for the hammer to fall. CuePhoenix upgrading to an orbital command here, and now finally starting to build some Banshees. So it looks like we're going to see some Banshee play. Will that be enough to save him? I really don't think so. I'm surprised KoolGUY isn't upgrading to Banelings. Let's look at his vision and see what he can see over here in CuePhoenix's camp. Well, you can see quite a bit. Ooh, looky there. He's got a little changeling guy. So this is a Zerg unit that looks like Terran units. So he looks like a Marine here. So he can see everything. He can see the move out. He can see that CuePhoenix is expanding. He can see the Banshees being built. He can probably even see where they're routed when they pop out. So KoolGUY just having a command of this game. CuePhoenix is really just letting him do that all by himself. A massive number of Zerglings up here, and going for his 3rd expansion. So KoolGUY really on top of his game. I think he's really going to come in here and do some massive damage. Finally building those upgrades off the Evo chamber, off these 2 evolution chambers. Going for melee attack and for ground carapace. That's ground armor level 1. Building a spire. Gonna go for some Mutalist harass, which is excellent for Zerg, excellent on this map, a very large map. As soon as CuePhoenix starts expanding to these 2 bases, he's going to have to cover 2 bases at once. He's got this pretty fledgling force of Marines just all spread out. KoolGUY's really doing well at this point, but he just needs to come in and start doing some damage. You know, his strength, his advantage will be that he's got 1, and then now 2, and 3, and then up here 4 hatcheries. So at a minimum, he can be making 12 units at a time, but if he gets queens on all of these, especially this macro hatchery here, he can make 16 units at a time. Actually, that's not true. 28. And since Zerglings come in pairs, that would be 56. Wow. So he could send in this whole group. He's got tons of money banked up and resupply almost immediately. The longer he waits, the more this Terran is going to get turtled up inside of his base, and he's going to start to catch up in the macro game. But you know, Terran 2 base to Zerg 3, still looks like it's going to be a pretty one-sided event here. Now, these Banshees could be causing him a problem. If we look over here, CuePhoenix did research the cloak ability. We can go back up here. These guys are the cloak ability. Okay, here we go. Here's some of these grass base. These missile turrets are already up. Looks like CuePhoenix is making no attempt to attack these Minimus or defend this missile turret, which seems like a pretty big mistake, because Marines don't have any upgrades on them. You can see that these barracks, we've had a tech lab here for a while, but no upgrades on that. So these Mutilisks going to come up here and do some harassment down on this base, killing a whole ton of stuff, just annihilating these workers. CuePhoenix trying to pull these away, but this is really bad when he's down on supply. These Mutilisks are just basically uncontested. Just a couple of Marines are doing some damage, but now joining with another Mutalisk. Pick up that SCV? Yeah, there you go. And you can see these Banshees heading off, so yeah, I'm surprised these Zerglings didn't come in at the same time. That would have done some pretty serious damage. Look here at the units killed tab. He's killed only 7 workers. That's amazing. I would have expected a lot more from that attack. These Banshees cloaking and coming back for cover, trying to get repaired here. But, I mean, seriously. Oh, here we go. This is what we're talking about. Zerglings, tons of these little explosive Baleen guys. This is just going to be bad. CuePhoenix is just going to get destroyed here. Let's, we can watch this group of Baleens come down. So we got an observer up there, so, or an overseer. That should negate the cloaking advantage of those Banshees. Looks like he's just going to hang out. That's really surprising. A couple of Mutilisks up here just hanging out at the spawn point of those Banshees. Banshee hanging out here, not doing very much. Oh, here comes the flood. Zerglings coming into siege tank range. They really need to move out of here and just go ahead and attack. Baleens swing back. They really just need to go into KoolGUY coming in, annihilating those Marines. Didn't even have a chance to shoot. Banshee's hanging back here, causing huge damage. All the units are over here. Missile turrets are going down, and looks like this command center is going to go down as well. CuePhoenix starting to bring in some units, starting to bring in these Banshees. They're going to clean these Zerglings up, and Zerglings just hanging out apparently. And a couple of parting shots. But here we go, back to 1 base Terran, 3 base Zerg. This is going to be some trouble for Zerg. CuePhoenix looks like he's understanding that he is completely destroyed at this point. Let's take a look at his vision and see what he can see. So he knows that Zerg is on 2 base at a minimum. Gonna have to send in these Banshees, try to do some damage. Does KoolGUY have Spore Crushers? Looks like he was trying to build one. He's got one here, but one is not going to be able to cover this entire base. Just a couple of queens. You know, he needs to build a bunch of Mutilisks. He can build, he's got 700 gas here. He can build 7 Mutilisks and take these out, especially with those overseers. But CuePhoenix, uncontested, doesn't really have a flow here. Here he is kind of just wreaking havoc, and there's, oh, there we go. There we go. Counterattack by KoolGUY. He should be able to do this multiple times. He's up to 5,000 minerals. He could just send in a ton of Zerglings at the first shot to kind of clean this up, send in a second set to clean up the space. KoolGUY should be able to take this handily, even though these Banshees are starting to destroy his economy. It doesn't really matter, because he has so many minerals, he could lose all of his workers. It's fine. Uh-oh, there's this fire. Okay, so now his Mutalisk option is out, and he's researching upgrades off these Edo Troopers. That's going to be able to do a lot of damage. These guys are just waiting around for something to happen here. No Spore Crawlers being built at either of these bases. He could build a ton of Spore Crawlers, completely negate this Banshee harass, but looks like he's just kind of hanging out. If we look at the production tab, he's building 2 Spore Crawlers. CuePhoenix not building anything, but of course he doesn't have much base left at this point. Let's see, where are those Spore Crawlers being built? They're definitely not being built in the main base, and here we go, a couple here. But, I mean, he's got 5,000. He can build a ton. He's got larvae just sitting around. He can build a ton of drones to build spore crawlers. Or just, he's going to need those drones or zerglings or something. But here comes an attack on CuePhoenix's base. Phoenix coming and blowing up that tank, going for the second tank. And that's really going to put CuePhoenix's army practically down to nothing. Just a couple of Marines and this Banshee force, which, is getting hit by these spore crawlers. And he's now down to 3 Banshees there. 3 Banshees is pretty damaging. There's no spore crawlers, there's no air defense. But, I mean, KoolGUY still could be building just a ton of anything. He can build queens while he's building other units. So he could build a queen here. Looks like he's going for a spawning pool. I mean, he's down pretty bad, so you can't build the queen without spawning pool. There's a scan from CuePhoenix. He's going to find this base and come out after it. But, these 2 Metalists, they could be coming in doing some damage here. Although CuePhoenix at this point, building a couple of Vikings. He's got a couple of missile turrets to defend the back. Okay, there go the Metalists. They should be able to do a little bit of damage here. Watch out for that missile turret. It's going to take one out. And a couple of Marines are going to take that Metalist out. So now KoolGUY, the tables have completely flipped with that Banshee attack. These Banshees just being harassing. The spine crawler's just sitting here. Was one spore crawler here, but that's not going to do much. These Banshees going to skirt around that and go up to the final base for KoolGUY. Completely under the ground, completely under attack. Another Banshee coming up here to hit that spawning pool. Looks like he's trying to build a bunch of spore crawlers, which is the correct response. A little bit too late. Will that be in time? Is the question here. Now that he's down to 1 hatch, he's going to be in trouble. And landed Vikings just. Now these couple of Zerglings going to try to do some damage, but these Banshees are completely focused on base trade. And despite all of his bases, KoolGUY had a pretty big disadvantage at this point. He's got a good set of spore crawlers, so these are going to hold things out, but being able to swing around, I don't know. And he decides to GG, and that's a good game from KoolGUY. So, a little disappointing on the Zerg front. KoolGUY having an amazingly commanding lead. If we go to the summary screen, we can see that KoolGUY spent an exorbitant, much higher number of resources than CuePhoenix and building more than double the workers, but just wasn't able to turn that macro game around and macro on the side of building an army and sending that army in over and over and over again into the Terran base. As we saw about mid-game, KoolGUY could have taken out CuePhoenix before he had come up to his expand, or while he was expanding. He had those changelings inside the base to see everything that was going on, and just a real surprise for KoolGUY, and a real surprise for CuePhoenix. He really should have ended that 8-game versus Zerg winning streak there. But yeah, Zerg, it's a difficult race to play. The whole macro economy, and then swinging the pendulum back to macro army, and then just continuing to pound with that army. Keep sending in units over and over and over again, and keep harassing and punish the Terran as soon as he gets out of his first base. That's a pretty intense game. And here we can see KoolGUY. He's in silver, and he's 12, ranked 12, which is pretty good. But this game played in the early morning. Reflex is a little slow. You can tell I'm a little bit slower here on the casting here. But yeah, impressive game from CuePhoenix with a clinch turnaround win there. Could be a call for imbalance on the Banshee there. Zerg hating Banshees, but you can see there KoolGUY starting to smarten up there, building a ton of spore crawlers there at the end. He could have been building, as soon as he saw the first Banshee, he could have been building a ton of spore crawlers, because he just had so much money. But I'm sure he's rapidly improving on his game and will do much better in the future here and not give up these easy wins for him. Well, that was a great game and a good start to Season 3, and this is StarcraftDad signing off. Talk to you guys next time.